When you start as an agent, spend 80% of your time prospecting. If you spend 80% of your time doing that, you will be successful. If you're going to be a leader and a business owner, you can't be the only one earning all the money or people will leave you. People know when you're generous and when you're just a tight, stingy bastard. Don't be a tight, stingy bastard with your people. You should put on an associate because it will provide you with so many benefits. Number one, it will. Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your number one destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run, and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. Ladies and gents, welcome to Get Keen today. I'm all on my own and I'm here to give you 20 years of real estate advice in 30 minutes. Why I'm giving this to you is because I personally, by listening to other people that have already been on a journey similar to mine, I've learned a lot from them in the past by listening to them and talking to other experts that have helped me to get to where I am. So I'm hoping that the advice that I can give can help to bring some value and just help out another person who is on a similar journey to me in real estate, possibly business ownership, either right now or further in the future. I just hope that my experience can give some other people some insights and some just good tips about how to make it in the real estate arena. So first of all, I'll take you right back to the beginning. And by the way, I have gone through a regular real estate journey right from the bottom of the barrel, sales associate, to being a very successful agent, to then going out and starting my own real estate business from scratch with no help from anyone else, building that up to a very successful agency, earning, doing in excess of $350 million of sales per year. We have over 50 people at Plum Property and some amazing talented agents, property managers, a rent roll of over 800, and a business that grosses over $10 million a year in revenue. So then I've gone on to start a second business now, Plum Partners, which helps other agents to start their own business, create their own brand, and build an empire for themselves. So I've done a fair bit. I've never been handed anything. I wasn't handed down this business from, parents, or I wasn't put into a higher position from the very start or anything like that. I went into the real estate business not really knowing anyone, not knowing anything about it, and started from the bottom. So my 20 best pieces of advice, well, may not be 20, it's almost 20, but my best pieces of advice in the last 20 years, starting at number one, right back at the beginning, looking for a job. If you are looking for a job in real estate, and this goes out to mainly young people, because these days you're all doing everything on the computer, just sending resumes, sending resumes all the time. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. I never read them. It's too much time and it doesn't show anything about you. In real estate, it doesn't matter if you've done a degree. It doesn't matter where you've worked. What matters is, do you have the personality? Do you have the grit? Do you have the fearlessness in you? To prove that to a real estate owner, literally just walk in the office. What you should do if you're looking for a job in real estate, just go around your local area, find the top 5 real estate businesses that you think are in the area, walk into the office and just ask if you can speak to the owner of the business because you're looking to get into sales. That will get you ahead of anyone else looking for the same sort of job that hasn't taken the initiative to go and introduce themselves to the business owner. In real estate and in every business, but especially real estate principals love that keenness of someone just walking in, shaking the hand, looking them in the eye and asking for a job. So do that. Once you get your job, and also what I would say about choosing your real estate office, my second piece of advice would be to work in an office that is close to where you live. Why that's really important is that real estate, in order to be more successful than everyone else, you have to work the most, right? So if you can work 10 hours in a day and you're not wasting 1.5 hours of your day in the car traveling. And even if you do have to travel, you should work whilst you're in your car. You should do calls in your car. You don't waste any time. The most successful agents, they just use their time really well. So the reason why you want to live close to your office is because there's not a lot of travel. You can get to the office sooner. And it also makes you able to book appointments either in the morning to go and see people or in the evening to go and see people who are all the people you're going to see are within the area you want to sell. So if they're near where you live, then you can go and see them on the way to work and on the way from work. And a 6 or 7 o'clock appointment, which is quite normal in real estate, will not be really hard to do for you because you live really close by. If you live an hour away from your office, doing a 6 p.m. appointment is a lot of trouble for you because there's so much travel to get home. You're not getting home till too late. So live close to your office. You'll be able to work more. My third piece of advice is to start as a sales associate and don't just jump straight into a full sales position where you're all on your own and you're trying to find your own listings. Because if you don't understand the process of how to prospect, how to build relationships, and understand how long it takes to turn a lead into an opportunity for a listing and then a sale, it can be a very long process before you even get your first one and then to start getting a roll on. And most people just burn out in the first 3-4 months because they haven't got a listing yet. And then, they say real estate's not for me, but they just haven't taken the time to learn the process and then really got stuck into their prospecting and just believing and knowing that it will turn around and it will happen. My fourth piece of advice, very important, when you start as an agent, spend 80% of your time prospecting. So prospecting is basically the job or the role of just getting in touch with as many people as you can. Okay, because no one knows you when you start off as an agent. No one's going to list their property with you. So you have to spend your time building relationships. That means choosing an area is the best way to focus on the same area. You know all the streets and you're trying to get to know all the people in this one area that own property. Door knocking on every door in a street, just letting them know about a sale that your office has just done or that you have possibly done, and would they like any information about their own home or what's going on in the marketplace. Same with cold calling. So it's all about just getting in touch with people who own within an area, giving them information, just seeing whether or not they're interested in talking to you. Many people are going to shut you down. You're going to get shut down and rejected doing these tasks all the time, and it's going to feel a little bit embarrassing. It's going to test you, and your ability to just walk it off if someone says something rude to you or just, hangs up the phone on you really quickly. Most people avoid these activities because of that, because they're worried about, offending someone or someone shouting at them and feeling like it makes them feel insecure about what they're doing. So then they avoid it because they don't like doing that. But if you spend 80% of your time doing that, that is what the absolute masters in real estate do every single day, and they do it right from day one. If you just focus on that, you will be successful. My fifth piece of advice is to put on an associate as soon as you can. So when you start off as an agent, usually you're all on your own. So you're doing your prospecting, which you should be doing 80% of the time. So it's a fairly lonely job in the beginning. It's the hardest in the beginning. It's very lonely and it's a lot of hard work and you never know when you're going to start earning money. But once you start getting a roll on, you can only do so much in a day. You've got 10 hours in a day to work. And as an agent, if you start getting to the level where you've got 5 to 10 listings on for sale, you got to do all the open homes, all the inspections, all the vendor reports, all of the callbacks to every buyer that visits the property or inquires on the properties. You got to put all the offers together. You got to then add on to all of that, all the prospecting that you've got to do and get around to people's houses and do favors for them and give them information and get your name out there whilst you're trying to sell these 5 to 10 properties. It's so much work. And when you're on your own, you can only do so much. And as soon as you're at capacity, and you should put on an associate because it will provide you with so many benefits. Number one, it will double your income because you'll be doubling your productivity. in the marketplace. You can have someone to help you do all those jobs, help you to prospect, bring more opportunities in the door so you can get in more living rooms, and you can share the jobs. You can also delegate more of the jobs that you don't like doing and that are not prospecting style jobs, and focus on the things that you do best in your team. But just the fact of having another person on your team that's also working 10 hours a day, your team's suddenly gone from working 10 hours a day to 20 hours a day. That's, 120 hours a week instead of 60 hours a week. So you're doing twice as much, you're going to get twice as many opportunities, you're going to get twice as much exposure. And after about 12 months, if you have a good associate and you train them well, you should be earning double your income in 12 months. It's a mistake I made of not doing it soon enough. I got to capacity when I was about 25 years old, and I stayed on my own for about 3 years before I made the move to put on an associate on. I should have done it way earlier. I would have got ahead quicker. I would have been earning more. And it's way more enjoyable having someone on your team. And actually, you're not just all on your own all the time. So that's a really important one. Number 5, put an associate on as soon as you can. The 6th most important piece of advice I can tell you is straight off number 5, just get a second associate as soon as you can. You typically, once you start building your team, you want to grow your team to 4 or 5. If you look at all the biggest agents in Australia, they've all got teams of 4, 5, some even 6 and 7 and 8. But basically, the more you can get on the team, and you've obviously got to structure it right, and everyone, once it gets bigger, it gets more complicated. But if everyone's got their roles and they've got great KPIs and you really gel as a team, the more people on the team, the more productivity you're doing. You got 5 people on the team, you're doing 5 times as much as someone who's just one person is doing. So put on a second associate. The 4th person you should have is so the second associate can also help with prospecting, but might work more with buyers. And then the 4th person should be a listing concierge and a marketing director. So they'll help you get all of your listings ready, and they will make sure all your marketing's going out effectively. And then the associates are just really helping you to do all of the agenty stuff, which is, running buyers, calling sellers, prospecting, and doing so much more of that outgoing work that brings in opportunities. The admin stuff can be left to one person. The 7th piece of advice I will give you for my 20 years in real estate is, if you want to start your own business, right, make sure that you're a really successful agent first. Okay, you really need to nail an amount of income, because running a business is going to cost you money. It's not free to run a business. You've got to hire some staff, possibly. You've got to do your own marketing. You've got other costs, licensing, insurance, subscriptions, obviously labor, a staff member or 2 to begin with. And it's going to cost you some money. So you have to make sure that you have enough income coming in to not only pay you, but pay for your team as well. Now, that number, I think, sits somewhere as a very bare minimum, if you're just a small business, at around $500,000, 500,000. Okay, but you should get to probably $1 million plus before you start your own business. Now, why it's really important that you're successful is not just because of the income, but it's going to help you recruit other agents. Okay, other agents want to work with successful leaders, because another agent needs to feel comfortable that they're going to learn more and that they're going to be more successful with the agent that they're going to join. Now, this is different when you're a bigger agency and you've got other agents that are very successful and they make your company and what you can offer as the principal and leader look very attractive, because other agents are doing really well in your business. But in the beginning, it's just you. And so anyone that's going to come and join needs to know that they're going to be working with a really, really successful person, because it'll make them more successful. My 8th piece of advice is you need to train others to be as good as you, right? If you're just building a business to make yourself really amazing, then you'll always be on the tools forever until you die. And the business solely relies on you. What if you get sick? What if you have children and you need to spend more time with your family? You're going to be stuck in the mud because you're the only one that brings in any income into the business. So you have to start, training your associates to become agents, so that they can eventually take some of the pressure off you as the business owner. My ninth piece of advice in real estate over my 20 years is when you start a business, no matter what size you are, you should be recruiting from day one. Okay, even when I was in my apartment, when I started my business in 2016, it was just me and my business partner, Dylan, in a 2-bedroom apartment. What did I have to offer the agents, the successful agents out there, to come and join me right now? I have a little apartment as an office. It wasn't very attractive. And I didn't get any agents to come and join me at that time, but I still made the effort to go and meet with agents and talk to them and let them know what my vision was for the business and where I was going. And the fact that I did that and then kept in touch, those agents were watching me and they saw that I was becoming more and more successful. And then they saw me change premises and, they kept their eyes on me. And because I built the relationship with them, when they saw that I, had got the wheels moving and the business was doing really well, some of them reached out because they were looking for a new opportunity at that point. And, because I made that effort early to build that relationship, it got me the chance to, pitch to them why they should join and how I respected them so much and how they could help my business go to the next level, and that I wanted to build an agency full of the best agents, and that I know that having them will make this agency what it is today. And, they saw the vision and they gave me a chance. And, the majority of those agents are still with Plum Property today, which is so awesome. But that recruiting started from day one. And I know that when you first open, you may not feel confident and comfortable calling agents because you may feel like you're not that successful yet, and that, there's no reason why an agent would come and join you. But don't think about it for just now. You are going to be successful. Remember that. You didn't start your business not to be successful. The goal is you're going to be successful. And whether those agents come and join you right now when you're just starting out, or 2 years down the track, it doesn't matter. You should be talking to them now, just like you would with someone who owns a property. You still go and do an appraisal for someone's property even when they're not selling, because you want to build that relationship so that when one day there is that opportunity that they're going to move, they give you a call. It actually is the same theory with recruiting agents. If you've got go and have lunch with them in a coffee, or just get to know them and have a chat with them, and they think, oh, I could work with this person. They're really nice and they've got good, their values align with mine. And then when that opportunity comes up, hopefully you're on the shopping list as someone to join. Hey guys, just quickly, if you're loving this content and you're a real estate agent that's already thinking what it might be like to have your own real estate business and brand, then check out the show notes. There'll be a link to our Plum Partners website where you can leave an inquiry and me or one of my team members will reach out. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own real estate business and brand so they can earn more and set up a better future for themselves. So get keen, get in touch. Now let's get back to the episode. My next piece of advice, if you're going to start a business and you're choosing a name, have a think about whether or not you want to put your name in it. All right, and think really hard about this. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with, call it, like, let's say my name was Michael O'Rourke. A lot of agents, when they go out and they start their own business, they don't really know what to call it. So the sort of easy thing is just go towards their name and go, well, I'll call it O'Rourke & Co. or, O'Rourke Real Estate. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, this is the thing you've got to think about. What is your business? What are you trying to grow? Are you trying to grow a business that is all about you and your sales team? Because if you are, and you just want to make as much commission as you want within you and your sales associates and teams, then calling the business after your name will be a good thing, because it's giving you credibility and all your clients know it's your business, you're named after the business, and that's a good thing. However, where it might disadvantage you is if you are going to try to recruit other experienced agents who are already, making good income and they're out there and they're working for another business. If you want them to come and join your business, a lot of agents actually won't feel comfortable going and working for a competing agent's brand when the brand is named after the owner of the business who sells property. They'll feel like, well, you're going to have an advantage over me in the marketplace. And it's also a little bit of an ego thing that this agent may not want to have your name slapped above their name, right? They've worked really hard to be where they are at, and they feel like, oh, well, I'm going over to this business and I'm putting this other agent's name sort of above me. It doesn't really sit well with a lot of agents. So you've just got to think about, whether or not that's what you want to achieve, having an agent where you may be able to recruit other agents, or whether or not you want it to be all about, you and your team. There's no wrong or right answer with that. You can build a successful agency in both ways. It's just you've got to have the vision about where you want your property business to go. And I always knew when I was starting my business that I never wanted it to be just about me, because I had the dream and the vision of the big office with 30, 50 people, lots of agents. That's what I wanted from the beginning, and so that's a big reason I never put my name in it, because I knew that would hinder me in being able to recruit successfully. If you're going to be a leader and a business owner and the boss per se, be generous, be very giving, give great bonuses. As a team leader as well, if you've got a team within the business, your own sales pod or whatever, be generous to your team. Give them great business bonuses. Pay things forward. You might come into situations where your associate found you a lead and you converted it into a listing, but it's someone that you did speak to a year ago. You were the first one to make the content connect, but then the associate, reintroduced the person and found them through a phone call and found out they were going to be selling and reintroduced you. In that kind of situation, this is an example. People who are not generous would say to the associate, oh, good work. Well, I actually met that person a year ago, so you don't get a bonus on that one, right? I would definitely give a bonus for something like that. You have to be generous. You have to pay things forward and get people really encouraged to do more work for you. Be very generous. You can't be the only one earning all the money, or people will leave you. People get a feeling of, people know when you're generous and when you're just a tight, stingy bastard. Don't be a tight, stingy bastard with your people, all right? Everyone's got to feel like winning. Everyone's got to feel like they're getting a good deal. You've got to make money. You're a business, but there is a way that everyone can win. Look after your best people really, really well, okay? And your early joiners as well, who've been there from the beginning and are still doing amazing things for your business. Those early joiners who stepped up to the plate and took a risk on you, especially the commission-only salespeople who were successful and they joined your business when you were young. Look after them. They deserve that recognition, that respect from you. And look after your best people. Your business is not great because of you. Your business is great because you have been very lucky to get great people to join you and stick with you. Now, yes, you probably deserve that because you're a good person, you're a good operator, but your business is only as good as those people that work in the business. And I am so lucky with Plum Property and Plum Partners that our team is so rock solid, and I've had some amazing loyalty from my team, and I've got some very, very special people who are so talented. I look after them, and I never want them to leave. So make them feel that way. Think about it often. Catch up with them often. Do one-on-ones, and make sure you're keeping that relationship alive. All right? Relationships need to be fostered continuously, forever. If you're going out on your own, again, I'm sort of into the business ownership stage of this talk, but build a property management business as early as possible. Okay. But it's really hard. So don't be naive about how easy it is to set up a property management team and grow it. It's one of the hardest things you will do in real estate. In fact, I'll say it is the hardest thing. It is the hardest part of a real estate business is building a successful property management business. So if you're going to do it, don't do it half-assed. And I've seen it before. I've seen so many agents make this mistake. They go, oh, I'm going to start a property management department. Oh, yeah. They don't even have anyone that's going to look after it. They just find a couple of leads and they say, oh, I'll just get this person to do it and we'll figure it out later. And it always ends in disaster. You have to have someone right from the start, in my opinion, to be taking that business, taking full control of that business from the beginning. Because it is a very difficult business. And if you just try and throw it on someone and you do build up 10 to 20 properties and then that person bails because it's too hard, you're fucked. You're in a really, really hard position now. And you don't even know what you're doing. You don't have someone else to pick up the pieces. And a lot of people get into this situation. It's super stressful. They just end up selling the rent roll. It's really small. It was never worth it. They've lost so much time. They've had so many headaches and they never go back to doing it again because they think it's so hard. So the real piece of advice there is if you're going to start a property management business, find a great person who's going to, and do a deal with them if you have to stick with you on this journey and help you build this property management business from the ground up. They're going to need to own it, take control of it, lead generation and properly have some property management experience as well. Number 14 in my best advice is become a great trainer. If you're going to build your business, then you have to get great at training people and, building people up into great agents and other leaders in your business. Unless you want to stay the same size and just it all be all about you for the rest of your life, because that's what it will be if you don't become a great trainer. So get keen and get used to doing training sessions. Even if you're not good at them, you will get good at them. A lot of training sessions are just, talking about situations and doing role play and things like that. It's not that hard. You just got to make an effort. But if the people will want to be part of your business if there's great training there and they love getting it from the owner of the business. My 15th piece of advice is you got to keep your mind sharp. Okay, now, however that is, part of that is, for me, is exercise, which is my 18th, 17th tip. But exercise is part of keeping your mind sharp. Gives you energy, helps you sleep, and we all know that, we've all heard it a million times, exercising is good for you. It is. And, whatever that is for you, you don't have to be the, most bulk guy in the office. You don't have to be the marathon runner. It's whatever works for you. Work out what that is, how much exercise your body can take and what, helps you to keep sharp, and then just be consistent with it. For me, I play basketball once a week on a weeknight, and I go for one run on the weekend every week, and then I will go to the gym about 4 days a week as well, usually in the morning because it keeps my energy up all day if I do it in the morning. I'm not the bulkest guy. I'm not huge. I'm not, obsessed with being like the fittest looking dude or anything, but I'm really, really happy with my level of fitness. I'm super happy with it. And it's enough for me. So you got to work out what is the amount of exercise which is really good for you, and just do it. You'll love it. Number 16 in my best pieces of advice is continuous education. I've made the mistake a few times of going a couple of years never going to an event, or just thinking I'm too busy for it, or that I don't need it because I'm already killing it. And every time I go to some sort of educational event, whether it's the once a year ARIC on the Gold Coast, or if it's I recently did a 3-day coach the coach session with Peter Gilchrist, which really helped me to improve my skills as a real estate coach. you got to continuously educate. And, that means going to events. It means listening to good podcasts like this. Well done. You're here. You're already doing it right now. And finding some role models in the industry that you really look up to, that have the same values as you, and just get good advice and reach out to people as well. Make connections with a couple of people. You only need a few that, they get along with you, you get along with them, and they've got, similar values and they're very successful, and that they will help you. Whenever you need to make a call to someone, you can call them, and they're sort of someone that's in your corner. I've got, 3 or 4 of those people in my life, and the amount that they've helped me, and having a few people that I can call on when I need it is amazing. My last piece of advice is to look after yourself. And that's both mentally and physically. And, I've sort of gone over the exercise thing, but eat as well as you can. I mean, even me, we all have our, blowout days and stuff like that. I'm not perfect, but I've definitely in my last few years been eating way more healthy at home, and it really does help. It makes me wake up with more energy when I make sure I'm eating, good food and salads and, vegetables and things like that. I used to always do Uber Eats for years, up until about 3 years ago. And recently I've been doing a lot more home cooked meals, a lot more vegetables, and it really does help. But on top of that, look after your mind. Real estate is very stressful when you get successful. You're looking after a lot of personalities. There's lots of things that go wrong. And when you're a business owner as well, there's a lot of personalities to deal with. There's a lot of things that go wrong in your business all of the time, consistently. You're very rarely just in this state of, oh, nothing's wrong. There's always things wrong. But the reality is that 98% of our problems, in a year's time, we won't even remember them. They won't mean anything to us. And so you have to keep yourself very level, whether that's meditation. Some people use yoga, meditation. I'm trying to do meditation regularly. I'm not doing it as regularly as I'd like, but just being able to let go of your problems, having gratitude for what you've got, and just not stressing about the day-to-day too much, because everything's always going to be stressful. One thing I like to do, which has really helped me, this is a bonus piece of advice, is once a week, and I do it most weeks whenever I can, on a Sunday night, I go to what's called a float tank. I go to a place called City Cave, and it's a room that has basically a salt pool that's a foot deep, and you just float in it on your back. And you turn the lights off, so it's completely pitch black, and there's music on. You put earplugs in, and you just float in the water. And I have my eyes open in the dark for a complete hour, right? You can either have music or have it completely silent. I do a mixture of both, right? And if you want, have a little bit of that medicinal before you go in there. Makes it way better. No, I'm just kidding. But what I do in that tank is I just have time to myself, like an hour of pure, solid thinking time. And you'd be so surprised when you've got absolutely no distractions, and you just in a place that is so peaceful, and all of your senses are gone, right? Because you're just floating, and all you can do is think. I get about a whole day's worth. It's like I do 8 hours of personal thinking in 1 hour. And some people might think that, oh, that sounds really stressful. It's totally not. I actually go through all these different problems in my business, in my relationship, at home, in my personal, mental state. And I actually figure out the solutions to so many of my problems in that float tank. I come out of there and it feels like a weight has just dropped off my shoulders. It's like I restart for the week. And I go into that Monday. The reason I do it on a Sunday night is because Sunday we all get that feeling, Sunday night, like, oh, it's Monday tomorrow. I've just enjoyed the weekend, it's Monday. We all have that a tiny little Sunday night feeling when we know it's Monday tomorrow and we have to go back to work. I do this float on a Sunday night. I come out of it and I cannot wait to get to work, right? And I get home and I enjoy the rest of my Sunday night with my family. And but I really just can't wait to get to work and figure out all those problems that I've got on my plate that really aren't that bad, right? And it's a good way for me to just release all of that stress. And so find your thing. Look, I'm not saying that has to be your thing, but give it a go. It's something that's been a complete game changer for me. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my 20 years of advice condensed into 30 minutes. I really hope that whoever's listening has got at least one piece of really good advice in there. If you want me to expand on any of those points that I talked about, drop a comment and I'll be happy to reply to you. You can also contact me through social channels. Best Instagram probably for me. Dan_Lee_Plum is where you'll find me. And you can send me a message and I'll reply to you personally there. Thank you again for tuning in to Get Keen. I hope to provide you with the best real estate value content there is out there, and I really appreciate your attendance. Drop me a like, give me a comment. Give me a comment, peeps, please. I'm desperate, man. Please give me a comment. Give me a 5-star review on Spotify. That would be legendary of you. I thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please show your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't stop there. Join our community of forward thinkers by connecting with me on social media at Dan_Lee_Plum. I'm looking forward to exploring more strategies and insights with you on your journey to the top. Until next time, keep getting keen.